Everything begins with imagination. The world you see is but a reflection of your inner state. If you desire to step into your millionaire phase, then you must first assume the feeling of already being there. It is not about waiting for the external world to confirm it. It is about walking in the consciousness of wealth before a single dollar manifests in your hands. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. The moment you surrender to the how, you place yourself under the dominion of doubt. Instead, rest in the knowing that what you claim in consciousness must harden into fact. The world does not bring wealth to those who chase it. It yields riches to those who know they already possess them. When you wake in the morning, do not wake as the one who longs for wealth. Wake as the one who is already in possession of it. Walk as though every step you take is guided by prosperity. Speak not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. Let your words reflect abundance. Let your actions be filled with the quiet confidence of one who is financially free. When you sit at your table, sit as a millionaire. When you enter a room, enter as a person of wealth. Not with arrogance, but with a deep inner assurance that all you desire is already yours. Let your mind dwell in a home of luxury. Let your hands touch fine fabrics in your imagination. Let your ears hear the conversations of success. What you accept as true within will inevitably take form without. The world is a mirror. It reflects back to you the state in which you dwell. If you persist in the feeling of already being wealthy, the world has no choice but to arrange itself to match your assumption. It is not the size of your bank account that defines your wealth. It is the depth of your belief. So step boldly into the role. Be it now. Act not as one who is waiting, but as one who already is. Wealth is not something outside of you waiting to be earned or acquired. It is not something to chase, nor is it something reserved for a select few. Wealth, like everything else in life, is a state of being, a state of consciousness. What you hold true in your inner world will inevitably manifest in your outer world. If you desire financial abundance, then you must begin by assuming the feeling of already having it. The mind is the creative power that shapes reality, and it is through the disciplined use of imagination that you bring forth the life you wish to experience. Most people believe that in order to feel wealthy, they must first see the evidence of wealth in their bank account, their possessions, or their lifestyle. But this is an illusion. Reality does not work from the outside in, it works from the inside out. Your external circumstances are merely a reflection of your inner state, the beliefs you hold and the emotions you entertain. If you continually affirm lack, worry about money, or see yourself as someone struggling, you will inevitably experience conditions that match those thoughts. But if you assume the feeling of already being wealthy, if you walk through life with the quiet assurance that all you desire is already yours, then wealth must become your reality. This is not about pretending or forcing yourself to believe something that feels false. It is about fully embodying the experience of financial abundance within your imagination until it feels completely natural. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is physically real and what is vividly imagined. When you assume the feeling of wealth, when you let that feeling saturate your entire being, your subconscious accepts it as truth. And since your subconscious is the source of all manifestation, your outer world will inevitably reorganize itself to match your assumption. To assume the feeling of wealth, begin by asking yourself, how would I feel if I were already a millionaire? How would I walk? How would I talk? How would I carry myself? What kind of decisions would I make? Let these questions guide you into the experience of wealth in your imagination. Picture yourself in a state of financial freedom, living in the home of your dreams, driving the car you desire, traveling wherever your heart calls you. More than just seeing these things, feel them. Feel the comfort of financial security. Feel the confidence of knowing that you have unlimited resources at your disposal. Feel the joy of freely giving and receiving. Let these feelings wash over you until they become second nature. When you wake up in the morning, do not wake as the person you were yesterday, bound by limitations and doubts. Wake as the millionaire version of yourself. As you get out of bed, move with the assurance of someone who has already achieved financial success. When you step outside, walk with the confidence of a person who knows they are financially abundant. Let your posture, your expression, and your energy reflect the reality you have claimed in your mind. Your words hold immense power. Speak as though wealth is already yours. Eliminate phrases like, "I can't afford that," or "money is hard to come by." These statements reinforce a state of lack, keeping you trapped in the very circumstances you wish to change. Instead, affirm abundance in all areas of your life. Say to yourself, "I always have more than enough. Money flows to me effortlessly. I am financially free." The more you affirm these truths with conviction, the more your subconscious mind will accept them, and the faster they will become your reality. Many people hesitate to assume the feeling of wealth because they fear disappointment. They think, "What if I act as if I am wealthy, but nothing changes?" But this way of thinking keeps them bound to their current circumstances. The truth is, you do not need external confirmation before you can believe in your wealth. You must believe first, and then the evidence will appear. The law of assumption states that whatever you persistently assume to be true must become your experience. The key is unwavering faith in your inner vision. Doubt is the greatest obstacle to manifestation. The moment you start questioning whether your assumption is working, you begin to undo your own creation. The mind, like soil, will grow whatever is planted within it. If you plant the seed of financial abundance and then immediately dig it up with doubt and worry, you prevent it from taking root. But if you plant that seed and nourish it with belief, persistence, and feeling, it will inevitably bear fruit. Assuming the feeling of wealth does not mean reckless spending or making irrational financial decisions. It does not mean ignoring responsibility. It means embodying the mindset of financial freedom. A wealthy person does not stress over every dollar spent. They do not constantly worry about bills or fear lack. They carry a sense of ease, knowing that money is always available to them. You must cultivate this same ease within yourself. When you spend money, do so with gratitude and confidence, knowing that more is always coming to you. When you think about the future, do so with excitement, knowing that financial opportunities are unfolding effortlessly. The imagination is the workshop of creation. If you continually see yourself as someone who is struggling, someone who is always chasing after money, then that will remain your reality. But if you see yourself as a person of wealth, as someone who naturally attracts prosperity, then that will become your experience. The outer world is simply a mirror of your inner world. Change within, and the world must change without. Take time each day to dwell in the feeling of financial abundance. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as a millionaire. Feel the deep sense of security, the joy of limitless possibilities, the peace that comes with knowing you are financially free. Let this feeling fill your entire being. Carry it with you throughout the day. Let it become your new state of being. Your assumption, when persisted in, will become your reality. Wealth is not something that exists outside of you, it is something you claim within. Assume the feeling of already having it, and the world will shape itself to match your belief. The greatest obstacle to manifesting wealth is the attachment to the how. The mind, conditioned by years of logic and reason, seeks to understand every step before it is willing to believe. It wants a clear path, a predictable process, a guarantee that wealth will come in a specific way. But this need for control is precisely what blocks the flow of abundance. The moment you start questioning how money will come, you introduce doubt, and doubt is the force that keeps you bound to your current reality. The creative power within you does not require a detailed plan. It does not need explanations, strategies, or logical sequences. It only needs belief. When you assume that wealth is already yours, when you fully embrace the feeling of being financially abundant, the world will rearrange itself to reflect that assumption. But the way in which it unfolds is not your concern. If you try to dictate the exact path your wealth must take, you limit the infinite possibilities available to you. Money can come from anywhere. It does not have to come from your job, your investments, or any source you currently know. It can arrive in unexpected ways, through unexpected people, at unexpected times. When you release the need to control the process, You open yourself to opportunities beyond anything you could have imagined. The universe is far more intelligent than the human mind. It operates in ways that are beyond comprehension. Your only job is to assume the state of wealth and allow the unseen forces to do the work. Many people sabotage their manifestations by constantly looking for evidence. They wake up each morning and check their bank account, hoping to see an increase. They analyze their circumstances, searching for proof that their assumption is taking shape. But this behavior is rooted in doubt. It suggests that they do not fully believe in their wealth. If they did, they would not need confirmation. They would trust that the external world will eventually catch up with their inner reality. Manifestation is not about forcing things to happen. It is about allowing them to unfold. The oak tree does not struggle to grow from the acorn. The river does not force itself to flow to the ocean. The process is effortless because it follows a natural law. And so it is with wealth. The moment you plant the seed of abundance in your mind and nourish it with belief, it must grow. But if you keep digging up the seed to check whether it is sprouting, you prevent it from taking root. Doubt is the destroyer of creation. Every time you question whether your assumption is working, you are undoing the very thing you are trying to manifest. You must remain unwavering in your belief, even when there is no visible proof. You must walk through life as though you already possess great wealth, even when your outer world shows no sign of it. This is the test of faith. Can you persist in the unseen reality long enough for it to become visible? There is no need to scheme, struggle, or force things into place. The moment you assume the state of wealth, the means by which it will appear are already set into motion. You may not see it happening, but that does not mean it is not unfolding. Just as a seed grows beneath the soil before breaking through the surface, so too does your assumption work in the unseen before manifesting in the physical world. Your task is to trust. Let go of the need to understand every step. Let go of the temptation to interfere with the process. If you were planting a garden, you would not pull up the roots each day to see if the flowers are growing. You would simply water the soil, allow the sun to do its work, and trust that the growth is taking place. The same principle applies to wealth. Assume the state, persist in the feeling, and let the unseen forces bring it into reality. Most people remain in financial struggle because they are trying to do everything themselves. They believe that their efforts, their strategies, and their plans are what create wealth. But this is an illusion. True abundance does not come from effort alone. It comes from alignment. When you are in alignment with wealth, opportunities come effortlessly. People appear in your life with the right connections. Unexpected sources of money arise. Ideas flow to you that bring financial success. These things happen not because you forced them, but because you allowed them. Struggle is a sign of resistance. It means you are trying too hard to control the how. You do not need to struggle for money any more than the sun struggles to shine. Abundance is your natural state. It is only the conditioning of lack that makes you believe otherwise. The moment you release the belief that money is difficult to obtain, you allow it to come with ease. Think of a time when something wonderful happened unexpectedly. Perhaps you received a gift, an opportunity, or a sum of money when you least expected it. You did not plan for it. You did not scheme for it. It simply appeared. This is how wealth flows when you let go of the need to control it. The more you relax into the feeling of already being wealthy, the more effortlessly money comes. Do not waste time worrying about where money will come from. That is not your concern. Your only task is to assume the feeling of already having it. Walk through life as though you are financially free. Make decisions from the mindset of abundance, not lack. Speak as someone who knows they are wealthy, not as someone hoping to be. Trust that the unseen forces are working on your behalf. The moment you detach from the how, you set yourself free. You no longer operate from a place of desperation or need. You move through life with ease, knowing that what you have assumed must come to pass. This is the secret of all wealth. It is not created by force, but by faith. Assume it, persist in it, and allow it to unfold in the perfect way at the perfect time. Money is not separate from you. It is not an external force that must be pursued, controlled, or chased. It is a reflection of your state of being, a mirror of your inner assumptions. The world you see is nothing more than a projection of your consciousness. If you see lack, it is because your mind has accepted lack as truth. If you see abundance, it is because you have assumed abundance as your reality. The external world does not create your experience. It is your inner world that determines everything you encounter. Most people make the mistake of believing that money exists outside of them. They see it as something they must earn, something they must strive for, something they must convince the world to give them. But this belief itself keeps wealth at a distance. It places money in the category of something out there, something separate, something that requires effort to obtain. This is an illusion. There is no separation between you and money. The same energy that animates your body, that moves your breath, that beats your heart, is the same energy that flows as wealth. There is no gap, no distinction. To truly step into your millionaire phase, you must dissolve the illusion of separation. You must stop seeing money as something apart from you and recognize it as a natural extension of who you are. Just as you do not chase after air to breathe, you do not need to chase after money to receive. It is already yours. It is already flowing toward you, waiting for you to align with the truth of your wealth. If you believe that money is something difficult to obtain, your reality will reflect that belief. If you believe that wealth is reserved for a select few, that idea will shape your experience. But if you accept that money is as natural to you as the air you breathe, it will begin to move effortlessly into your life. The only thing that keeps it at a distance is the belief that it is distant. You must change the way you see yourself in relation to wealth. If you identify as someone who struggles financially, the world will continue to reinforce that identity. If you identify as someone who has more than enough, your reality will reshape itself accordingly. This is not about wishful thinking. It is about stepping into the state of already being wealthy, of already having what you desire. You do not wait for the world to change before you accept your new identity. You assume it first, and then the world changes in response. Look at the people who are truly wealthy. They do not walk through life worried about money. They do not hesitate when making decisions. They do not question whether they can afford something. They live in a state of knowing. They expect money to flow. They trust that it will always be there. This expectation, this certainty, is what sustains their wealth. It is not about the amount of money they currently have. It is about the state of being they embody. If you want to experience wealth, you must embody that same state. You must walk through life as if money is always present. This does not mean being reckless or irresponsible. It means carrying yourself with the assurance that abundance is your natural state. It means making choices from a place of confidence rather than fear. It means trusting that you are always supported, always provided for, always in the flow of prosperity. Every moment you are affirming your relationship with money through your thoughts, your words, and your actions. If you constantly speak of financial struggle, you reinforce the idea of struggle. If you habitually worry about expenses, you solidify the belief that money is scarce. But if you shift your inner dialogue, if you begin to affirm that you are financially free, that wealth is always flowing to you, that money comes effortlessly, you will see a change in your outer world. Many people try to change their financial situation without changing their consciousness. They work harder, take on more jobs, push themselves to exhaustion, all while carrying the belief that money is difficult to obtain. But no amount of effort can override a belief that is rooted in lack. True financial transformation happens from the inside out. When you shift your consciousness to one of wealth, money will begin to appear in ways you never expected. This is not about pretending. It is not about faking confidence or forcing yourself to act wealthy when you feel otherwise. It is about genuinely stepping into the identity of someone who knows they are rich. It is about deeply accepting that abundance is already yours. You do not need to trick yourself or play a role. You simply need to recognize that wealth is your birthright. The moment you accept this as truth, your external reality will follow. Think about the way you move through your day. Do you walk with the confidence of someone who is financially abundant? Do you make decisions from a place of trust, or do you hesitate out of fear? Do you speak about money with certainty, or do you constantly express worry? Every action, every thought, every word reinforces an identity. If you want to be wealthy, you must think, speak, and act as a wealthy person would, not from a place of arrogance, but from a place of knowing. This does not mean spending recklessly or making unwise financial choices. It means moving through life with the calm assurance that money is always there. It means trusting that the universe is constantly working in your favor. It means releasing the belief that you must struggle to receive wealth and instead embracing the truth that money flows effortlessly to those who expect it. Everything in your life is a reflection of your dominant assumptions. If you assume that you are always supported, you will be. If you assume that money comes easily, it will. If you assume that you are already wealthy, that reality must take shape. It is not a matter of chance, it is a law. The external world must mirror the internal state. You do not need to wait for physical evidence before believing in your wealth. The belief comes first. The assumption creates the reality. Most people live in reverse. They wait for circumstances to change before they allow themselves to feel abundant. But this is like waiting for the reflection in a mirror to smile before you decide to smile. The outer world can only show you what you have already accepted within. The question is not whether wealth is possible for you. It already exists. The question is whether you will align with it. Will you continue to see money as something separate from you, something that must be earned through struggle? Or will you accept that it is already yours, that it is already flowing toward you, that there is no separation between you and the wealth you desire? There is no need to force, no need to chase, no need to beg. Wealth is a state of being, not a destination. The moment you step into that state, the outer world will reflect it. Not because you worked harder, not because you found the perfect strategy, but because you finally accepted the truth of who you are. Your external reality is nothing more than a reflection of your internal state. Everything you see, everything you experience, is a projection of the beliefs and assumptions you hold within. The world is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Every thought, every emotion, every deeply held belief is shaping the conditions of your life. If you want to transform your financial reality, you must begin by shifting your inner dialogue. You must reprogram your mind to see wealth as your natural state, not something distant or difficult to attain. Most people believe that their circumstances dictate how they feel. They look at their bank account, their income, their financial obligations, and allow these external conditions to define their emotional state. If there is lack, they feel lack. If there is struggle, they feel struggle. But this is the reverse of how reality actually works. The conditions do not create the feeling creates the conditions. The mind precedes the experience. If you continue to focus on what you lack, if you continue to dwell on financial difficulties, you are reinforcing the very reality you wish to escape. The more attention you give to a situation, the more you energize it, the more you make it real. This is why people remain stuck in cycles of scarcity. They believe that their current financial state is an undeniable fact, and because they keep identifying with it, they perpetuate it. But what if you stopped looking at your current reality as a fixed truth? What if you began to see it as a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs, rather than an unchangeable fact? What if you understood that your financial situation is merely a manifestation of old assumptions, and that by changing those assumptions, you can change the reality you experience? Your mind is the creator. It is the birthplace of all that you see in your world. Everything begins as an idea, a concept, a belief held within. Money is no different. If you believe that wealth is hard to come by, that belief will structure your experience. If you believe that money flows easily, that belief will open the channels through which it can arrive. The circumstances of your life are not random. They are a perfect match to what you accept as true. You cannot expect to see financial abundance while internally holding on to beliefs of struggle and limitation. You cannot expect to experience wealth while constantly affirming that money is scarce. The world cannot give you what you have not first accepted within yourself. You must align your inner state with the reality you wish to experience. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through your imagination. Your imagination is the tool through which you shape reality. It is the bridge between your current state and the state you desire to embody. When you use your imagination to assume the feeling of already having wealth, you are planting the seeds for that wealth to appear in your life. You are shifting your identity, and as your identity changes, so will your external world. Many people misunderstand imagination. They see it as something separate from reality, something fictional, something that has no real effect. But imagination is not just fantasy. It is the blueprint for what will manifest in your life. What you imagine with conviction, what you feel as real within, will find its way into physical form. This is not speculation. It is the law by which all things come into being. If you want to change your financial state, you must begin by assuming the feeling of already being wealthy. Not in the future, not someday, but now. You must feel it so deeply that it becomes undeniable within you. You must walk through life as if your wealth is already secured, as if you are already living in financial freedom. When you do this, you are shifting your consciousness, and when consciousness shifts, reality follows. The key is not to wait for external proof before believing in your wealth. The key is to believe in it first, to feel it now, even when there is no physical evidence. This is where most people struggle. They look around at their current financial situation and say, but this is the truth. This is what is real. And in doing so, they lock themselves into that reality. They refuse to step into a new state because they are waiting for something outside of them to change first. But reality does not work this way. The world will not change until you do. You must embody the feeling of wealth before the physical evidence appears. You must become the millionaire in your mind before the world can mirror it back to you. This is not wishful thinking. It is an understanding of how reality is shaped. Everything external is a reflection of the internal. The world must conform to the state you hold within. To truly shift into the state of financial abundance, you must let go of the old story. You must release the identity of someone who struggles, someone who worries about money, someone who feels financial pressure. That identity no longer serves you. Every time you affirm that you do not have enough, every time you focus on lack, you reinforce the very thing you are trying to change. Instead, you must claim your wealth now. You must see yourself as already prosperous. You must speak as if your financial freedom is an established fact, not as something you are hoping for, not as something that might happen, but as something that already is. Your words have power. Every time you say, I am financially free, you are declaring a new reality. Every time you affirm, money flows to me effortlessly, you are aligning yourself with a new state of being. The more you repeat these affirmations, the more you saturate your mind with the truth of your wealth, the more you will begin to feel it as real. And once you feel it as real, the world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match that inner truth. The law is precise. Your dominant state of consciousness will always be reflected in your external experience. This is not about ignoring your current financial reality. It is about understanding that what you see now is just a reflection of past beliefs, and that by changing your internal state, you can create something entirely new. It is about taking responsibility for your consciousness, recognizing that you are not at the mercy of external conditions, but that you are the cause of them. The moment you assume the feeling of wealth, you shift your entire vibration. You begin to attract new opportunities, new ideas, new pathways for money to flow into your life. You begin to move differently, speak differently, make decisions differently. And as you do, the world reflects that new state back to you. Everything is responding to you. The money you seek is not outside of you. It is waiting for you to align with it. The moment you fully embrace your financial abundance in your mind, the moment you feel it as real within, the outer world will follow. Not by chance, not by luck, but by the law that governs all creation. Your actions are a reflection of your state of being. Every movement you make, every decision you take, every word you speak is an extension of the inner reality you have accepted as true. If you desire wealth, if you long for financial freedom, then your actions must align with the assumption that you are already wealthy. There is no separation between who you are internally and how you behave externally. The two are one. If you truly believe that you have stepped into your millionaire phase, then your actions must naturally follow. Most people live reactively. They act based on what they currently see rather than what they desire to create. If their bank account is low, they move with hesitation. If they feel financial uncertainty, they shrink their actions, operating from a place of fear and scarcity. But this is not how creation works. The physical world is simply a mirror, reflecting your dominant state of consciousness. If you continue to act like someone who lacks wealth, you reinforce that state and prolong the experience of financial struggle. But imagine for a moment that you were already a millionaire. Not in the distant future, not as a hopeful possibility, but right now. How would you move? How would you think? How would you carry yourself? You would not second-guess your decisions. You would not act from desperation or fear. You would move with confidence, certainty, and assurance. Your posture would change. Your tone would shift. You would engage with the world differently because you would know that financial abundance is your natural state. This is not about reckless spending or acting irresponsibly. It is not about making decisions based on impulse or proving something to others. It is about embodying the mindset and behaviors of a wealthy individual in every aspect of your life. A millionaire does not operate from lack, but from abundance. A millionaire does not chase money. Money flows to them effortlessly because they are in alignment with it. When you step into this mindset, your actions will reflect that same certainty. Every opportunity you engage with should be approached from this knowing. Instead of hesitating, instead of questioning whether you are worthy, you move forward with the assurance that wealth is already yours. Instead of avoiding risks out of fear, you evaluate them from a place of wisdom and trust. Instead of shrinking when faced with challenges, you expand, knowing that solutions are always available to you. If you were already wealthy, how would you invest your time? Would you waste it worrying about financial limitations, or would you direct your energy toward growth and expansion? Would you surround yourself with people who drain your confidence, or would you align yourself with those who inspire and elevate you? A millionaire understands the value of time, energy, and association. They do not allow distractions to pull them away from their vision. They know that their greatest asset is their ability to stay focused on their desired reality. The way you present yourself to the world must also reflect your new state of being. This is not about impressing others or pretending to be someone you are not. It is about aligning your external presence with your internal transformation. How do you dress when you feel confident and successful? How do you speak when you know that you are financially secure? How do you walk into a room when you believe that you belong in spaces of influence and abundance? These are not minor details. They are powerful signals that reinforce your new identity. The language you use is also crucial. Words are not just sounds. They are commands to your subconscious mind. If you constantly speak about financial struggle, if you reinforce limitations in your conversations, you are unknowingly affirming scarcity. But when you speak from the place of someone who already possesses wealth, your words carry power. You talk about opportunities, expansion, and prosperity. You express gratitude for the wealth that already exists within you, even before it appears in the external world. Consider the choices you make each day. When presented with an opportunity, do you hesitate and doubt yourself? Or do you move with the confidence of someone who knows that success is inevitable? When faced with a financial decision, do you act from fear or do you trust in your ability to create more wealth? Every decision you make is shaping the reality you experience. You must also develop the habits of a wealthy individual. Success is not a single event. It is the result of consistent actions taken over time. If you were already financially free, how would you structure your day? Would you waste time on distractions, or would you invest in learning and self-improvement? Would you allow negativity to consume your mind, or would you cultivate a mindset of gratitude and abundance? Your daily habits are either moving you closer to wealth or keeping you stuck in limitation. Money is energy. It flows to those who are aligned with it. If you act from a place of scarcity, you are signaling to the universe that you do not believe in your own wealth. But when you act with the assurance that money is already yours, you become a magnet for financial opportunities. You begin to attract new sources of income, new ideas, and new connections that lead to prosperity. Many people believe that they must wait for circumstances to change before they can act differently. They say, once I have more money, then I will move with confidence. But that is not how manifestation works. You must first embody the confidence, the certainty, and the abundance internally. You must take actions that reflect your millionaire state now, even before the physical evidence appears. This does not mean taking reckless financial risks, but it does mean thinking and behaving differently. It means no longer making decisions based on fear. It means stepping into opportunities with the assurance that you are already wealthy. It means trusting yourself to navigate financial situations from a place of wisdom and empowerment. Your external world is simply a delayed reflection of your internal reality. If you wait for money to arrive before acting wealthy, you are keeping yourself stuck in the state of waiting. But if you act as if you are already in your millionaire phase, you are shifting your identity now, and reality will follow. Everything is responding to you. Your actions send signals to the universe about what you believe to be true. If you move through life as someone who already possesses financial abundance, the universe has no choice but to align your reality with that belief. Wealth does not come to those who wait in doubt. It comes to those who act in faith, who move with certainty, who embody abundance before they see it with their physical eyes. You are not separate from wealth. It is not something outside of you, something that you must chase or struggle for. It is already within you. The only thing separating you from it is the way you think and act. The moment you shift into the mindset and behavior of a millionaire, you activate the forces that will bring that reality into form. You must walk, talk, think, and move as the version of yourself who has already attained wealth. You must make decisions as if financial success is inevitable. You must invest in yourself, in your growth, in your vision, with the certainty that abundance is already yours. When you align your actions with the state of being a millionaire, the world will rearrange itself to reflect that truth. Every step you take, every choice you make, every way you carry yourself is either reinforcing your millionaire identity or keeping you in limitation. The power is in your hands. Step boldly into your financial abundance now.
The secret lies in your imagination. What you accept as true within, you will experience without. You do not need to wait for physical evidence to appear before you believe in the reality of your desire. You must assume it now. Feel it in the depths of your being. Walk in the world as if you already possess everything you desire, not with arrogance, but with quiet certainty, knowing that creation is finished and that all things already exist in the unseen. Close your eyes and dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Do not merely think about it, feel it. If you desire wealth, how does it feel to be abundant? Not just to have money, but to embody the very essence of prosperity. If love is your wish, how does it feel to be deeply cherished? Not tomorrow, not in some distant future, right now. Enter that state. Live from that state. The world will shift to reflect your inner reality, for it has no choice. There is no power outside of you determining what you can or cannot have. The only barrier is your own acceptance of limitation. When you understand this, you will see that all things are possible, that you are already in possession of everything you seek. You do not have to force or beg. Simply align with the feeling of having it and let the world rearrange itself around your assumption. Others may look at you and wonder how you move with such peace, how you radiate such confidence, but you will know. You will know that the secret is not in what the eyes can see, but in what the heart believes. And when you persist, when you refuse to waver, the world must bow to your assumption, for it is law. The truth of existence is simple. What you assume to be real within yourself will inevitably shape the world around you. Every experience, every event, every encounter in your life is a reflection of the state of consciousness you occupy. It is not the outer world that dictates your reality, but rather your deep internal convictions. If you wish to change your life, you must begin by changing what you accept as true. You do not need to struggle, force, or chase after anything. You need only assume that what you desire is already yours, and the world will shift accordingly. Consider for a moment the nature of assumption. It is not wishful thinking, nor is it mere daydreaming. It is a deep, unwavering conviction that something is already true. It does not concern itself with logic or external proof. It simply knows. When you assume something to be real, you no longer question it, doubt it, or look for validation outside yourself. You move through life as if it were already done, because in the realm of imagination it is. Imagination is the foundation of all creation. Everything that exists in the physical world first existed as an idea. The chair you sit on, the building you live in, the devices you use, all of these were once unseen thoughts before they took form. The same principle applies to your life. What you consistently imagine, what you truly believe within, must manifest in your reality. It is not a matter of luck or chance. It is a universal law. Most people live in reaction to their circumstances. They see their external world as something fixed, something beyond their control. They believe that they must first see changes in order to feel different. But this is an illusion. The truth is the opposite. It is your inner state that determines your external reality. When you shift your assumption, the world around you must follow. Think about someone who always seems to attract success and abundance effortlessly. They do not struggle, they do not chase, they simply expect good things to happen. This is not coincidence. This is the power of assumption at work. They assume that they are fortunate, that opportunities will come to them, that life will always work out in their favor. And because they hold this belief so deeply, the world mirrors it back to them. If a person believes that they are always struggling, that they can never get ahead, that life is unfair, then their reality will reflect these assumptions. They will encounter difficulties, setbacks, and disappointments, not because the world is against them, but because they are unconsciously creating these experiences through their beliefs. The key to transformation is in deliberately choosing your assumptions. It is not enough to simply hope for a better future. You must step into it now. You must feel in the core of your being that you are already the person you wish to be. If you desire wealth, you must assume the feeling of financial abundance, even before the physical evidence appears. If you desire love, you must assume the feeling of being deeply cherished, even before a partner arrives. The assumption itself is what brings these experiences into your life. This is not about pretending or faking. It is about genuinely knowing that your desire is already a reality, even if the physical world has yet to catch up. When you assume something as true, you act, think, and feel from that place of certainty. You no longer question it, because in your mind it is already done. Your assumptions shape the way you carry yourself. When you believe you are confident, You naturally exude confidence. When you assume that you are successful, you move through the world with a quiet certainty. Others may not immediately understand why they are drawn to you, but they will sense something different. They will recognize the power of your belief. You do not need to concern yourself with how things will unfold. That is not your job. The moment you assume something to be real, the path to its realization begins to form. Events will rearrange themselves, people will show up at the right time, opportunities will appear in ways you could never have predicted. But none of this can happen if you do not first accept your desire as already fulfilled. Doubt is the greatest enemy of assumption. The moment you allow doubt to creep in, you begin to undo the work you have done. You start questioning, looking for signs, wondering if it is really possible. And in doing so, you shift your focus back to lack, to waiting, to hoping, instead of knowing. The key is to persist. No matter what the outer world shows you, hold firm in your assumption. Do not waver.
Everything in your world is a reflection of your inner state. If you do not like what you see, do not try to change the outer circumstances directly. Change yourself first. Change what you believe, what you accept as true, and the world will adjust accordingly. There is no force outside of you determining your fate. You are the one shaping your reality, whether you realize it or not. This is why it is essential to be aware of what you are assuming on a daily basis. Pay attention to the thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, the emotions you cultivate. Are they aligned with the life you desire, or are they reinforcing the very things you wish to change? Every moment you are assuming something. Make sure it is serving you. When you truly understand this principle, life becomes effortless. There is no need to chase, to force, to struggle. You simply assume that you already have everything you desire, and reality conforms to that assumption. You no longer wait for circumstances to change before you feel happy, abundant, or loved. You feel these things now, and in doing so, you call them into being. This is the power you hold. This is the secret that has been hidden in plain sight. The only question is, will you use it? Will you choose your assumptions deliberately, or will you continue to live in reaction to the world? The choice is yours. To truly transform your life, you must go beyond mere wishing and step into the experience of already having what you desire. It is not enough to think about it, hope for it, or wait for it to come. You must live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This means shifting your internal state, embodying the emotions, and aligning yourself with the reality you want before you see any physical proof. It may seem like a paradox, but the truth is, your world is a reflection of what you assume and feel to be true. Every great manifestation begins with a feeling. The world does not respond to empty words or fleeting thoughts, but to the emotions you hold within you. If you desire love, do not wait for someone to arrive before you feel loved. If you seek abundance, do not wait for money to appear before you feel wealthy. Instead, summon the feeling now. Ask yourself, how would I feel if my wish were already fulfilled? How would I move, speak, think, and act if I had everything I ever wanted? The moment you immerse yourself in that feeling, you shift into a new state of being. And because reality mirrors your internal state, it must conform to this new assumption. This is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about understanding the power of consciousness and realizing that the only thing separating you from your desire is your current state of mind. When you shift your feelings, you shift your world. There is no need to struggle or force things to happen. You simply allow yourself to feel as though it is already done, and the universe responds accordingly. Many people misunderstand this principle because they are conditioned to believe in the evidence of the senses. They look around at their current circumstances and think, this is my reality. I cannot feel something different until I see proof. But this is the opposite of how creation works. If you allow your external world to dictate your internal state, you will continue to recreate the same conditions over and over again. Instead, you must rise above appearances and hold firm in the feeling of your fulfilled desire. Think of a time when you were truly happy, truly excited about something. Did you wait for external confirmation before allowing yourself to feel joy? Or did the feeling come first, independent of any physical event? The same principle applies to manifesting your desires. You do not need to see it before you feel it. In fact, you must feel it first, and then it will be revealed in your world. Some may wonder how to generate a feeling that seems unfamiliar or distant. The answer is simple: imagination. The mind is a powerful tool, capable of conjuring any experience, any emotion at any time. Close your eyes and create a scene in your mind where your wish is already fulfilled. Make it vivid. See yourself in the situation you desire, surrounded by the things you long for, interacting with the people you wish to have in your life. But more importantly, feel it. Let the emotions wash over you as if it were happening now. Allow yourself to smile, to rejoice, to be at peace. The more real it feels in your imagination, the more powerfully it impresses upon your subconscious, and the faster it manifests in the physical world. When you wake up in the morning, instead of starting your day by reacting to the world, begin by aligning with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Carry this feeling with you throughout the day. Walk with confidence, as if your dreams are already reality. Speak as if you are already living in the state you desire. Let your thoughts reflect the new version of you. The key is to persist in this feeling, regardless of what the outer world appears to show. Doubt will try to creep in. The mind will attempt to revert to old patterns, looking for evidence that nothing has changed. But you must remain steadfast. You must remind yourself that the world is only catching up to your new state of being. The more you return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, it will feel like the most obvious truth in the world. Imagine someone who desires financial prosperity but currently experiences lack. If they focus on their current struggles, their reality will remain unchanged. But if they begin to feel wealthy now, if they adopt the mindset and emotions of abundance, then their world must shift to match that feeling. Opportunities will arise, doors will open, and the right people will appear. Not because of luck, but because they have assumed the state of abundance before it physically arrives. This is why those who seem effortlessly successful in life are not necessarily the hardest workers, but rather the ones who embody the feeling of success long before it appears. They do not need proof, they trust in the unseen. They carry themselves with an inner knowing that what they desire is already theirs. The same principle applies to relationships. If you feel lonely and desperate for love, you are reinforcing that state of lack. But if you begin to feel loved now, if you carry yourself as someone who is deeply cherished, then love will flow into your life naturally. People will be drawn to you not because you are seeking, but because you are radiating the energy of already having what you desire. This is the power of feeling. It is not about waiting, it is about becoming. You must become the version of yourself that already has what you desire. Think like that person, feel like that person, move through the world like that person. And as you do, reality will shift in response. There is no need to question how or when it will happen. The moment you align with the feeling of your fulfilled desire, the process begins. The right circumstances will arrange themselves effortlessly. The more you persist in this feeling, the faster the results will appear. Many people give up too soon. They return to their old ways of thinking, believing that nothing is happening. But the truth is, everything is happening beneath the surface. The moment you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust the process. You know that in time, it will break through the soil and bloom into something real. The same is true for your desires. Once you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it is only a matter of time before it becomes your reality. Your external world is merely a reflection of your inner state. If you do not like what you see, do not attempt to change the outer circumstances directly. Change yourself first. Change how you feel, what you believe, and how you carry yourself. Assume the feeling of already having what you desire, and reality will shape itself accordingly. There is no force outside of you determining what you can or cannot have. You are the creator of your experience. The only question is, will you claim your power? Will you dare to feel now, even before the evidence appears? Those who do will discover that the world bends to match their assumption. They will live a life of ease, of joy, of boundless possibility, and they will know, without a shadow of doubt, that all they ever had to do was feel. Everything in your world is a reflection of your inner state, and the way you move, speak, and carry yourself reveals what you believe to be true. You may think your desires are something separate from you, something to be attained in the future, but the truth is, they already exist within you. You are not waiting for something to happen, you are bringing it into form by embodying the version of yourself who already has it. This is the secret of creation. You must not simply think about your desires or hope for them. You must step into them now, living from the perspective of the person who already possesses everything they want. Observe yourself for a moment. Notice how you sit, how you breathe, how you walk through life. Are you moving as someone who knows they are worthy, abundant, and successful? Or are you carrying the weight of doubt, fear, and limitation? The body reflects the mind, and the way you present yourself to the world is a direct expression of your internal beliefs. If you want to shift your reality, start by shifting your posture, your tone, your energy. The moment you change the way you move, you begin aligning with a new version of yourself. Think about someone who is deeply confident, someone who walks into a room and commands attention without saying a word. They do not need to prove anything. They do not seek validation. They simply radiate a quiet knowing that they are exactly where they are meant to be. Their presence is powerful, not because of what they say, but because of how they carry themselves. They have assumed a state of certainty, and their actions naturally follow. Now imagine the opposite. Someone who doubts themselves, who walks with hesitation, who speaks with uncertainty. They may have the same intelligence, the same skills, the same potential as the confident person, but their state of being creates an entirely different experience. They struggle, not because they are less capable, but because they have not yet assumed the feeling of already being where they want to be. You must decide which version of yourself you will embody. You must ask yourself, how does the person who already has what I desire carry themselves? How do they move through the world? Do they stand tall, walk with purpose, breathe deeply? Do they speak with clarity, with calm assurance? Every detail matters, because your body and mind are interconnected. The way you present yourself shapes the way you feel, and the way you feel shapes what you attract. If you desire success, begin moving as if you are already successful. Let go of hesitation. Replace uncertainty with purpose. Carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are exactly where they need to be. When you walk, walk with a sense of arrival, as if you are stepping into the reality you have already claimed. If you desire wealth, do not slump under the weight of financial stress. Stand as though you are already free, already abundant. Move with the ease of someone who knows they are always provided for. If you desire love, do not shrink yourself in fear of rejection. Walk as if you are already cherished, already adored. Speak with the warmth and openness of someone who knows they are deeply loved. The more you align your body with the reality you wish to experience, the more natural it becomes. Soon you will no longer be pretending, you will simply be. This is not about arrogance or forcing yourself to act unnaturally. It is about stepping into the truth of who you really are. You are already whole, already abundant, already loved. But if you carry yourself as though you are lacking, the world will mirror that state back to you. Instead, begin to embody the version of yourself who has already arrived. Think of a time when you felt completely at ease, completely in flow. Maybe it was a moment when everything was going right, when you felt in perfect alignment with life. How did you move in that moment? How did you carry yourself? That feeling is not something external. It is a state you can access at any time. You simply need to choose it. Watch how successful people move, how they interact, how they express themselves. You will notice a common thread. They carry themselves as if they have already won. They do not wait for external validation. They do not hesitate. They do not second guess. They embody the reality they have claimed, and the world adjusts accordingly. You are not waiting for the world to change before you change. You are changing first, and the world follows. Begin now. Adjust your posture. Lift your head. Breathe deeply. Walk as if you are already where you want to be. Speak with the certainty of someone who knows their words hold power. Move through life as if you are already the person you wish to become. The shift does not have to be dramatic. Even the smallest adjustments create ripples. Notice how you feel when you straighten your spine, when you breathe fully, when you move with intention. Notice how people respond to you differently when you carry yourself with quiet assurance. These are signals that you are stepping into a new state of being. Your mind will try to resist at first. It will tell you this isn't real. You don't have what you want yet. But you must persist. You must remind yourself that the world is not something happening to you. It is something responding to you. Your reality is a reflection of the state you occupy. If you wish to change your experience, change how you show up in each moment. There is no need to wait. Right now, in this very moment, you can step into the version of yourself who already has everything they desire. You do not need permission. You do not need proof. You simply need to decide. The moment you begin to move, to breathe, to carry yourself as if it is already done, the universe takes notice. The external world shifts to match the new reality you have claimed. Do not underestimate the power of embodiment. It is not a small detail. It is the key to transformation. Many people try to change their reality by thinking alone. But thought without embodiment is weak. When you align your movement, your presence, your energy with the reality you wish to create, the shift becomes undeniable. Practice it every day. The more you align your actions with your desired state, the more natural it becomes. Soon, you will not be acting, you will simply be. And when you are, the world will have no choice but to reflect it back to you. The words you speak, whether aloud or in the privacy of your mind, shape the world you experience. Every thought carries a vibration, and every sentence reinforces a state of being. You may not realize it, but with every word you speak, you are declaring something about yourself and your life. The question is, what are you declaring? Are your words aligned with the reality you wish to create, or are they reinforcing a state of lack, doubt, and limitation? Most people speak from their current circumstances, unaware that their words are merely confirming the very conditions they wish to change. They say, I can't afford this. I'm not good enough. Nothing ever works out for me. These statements may feel like simple observations, but in truth, they are powerful affirmations. They crystallize your reality, ensuring that it remains the same. The more you speak of struggle, the more you affirm it into existence. The more you declare lack, the more you reinforce its presence in your life. There is no such thing as idle speech. Every word carries energy, and every repeated phrase deepens a belief. If you say something often enough, you begin to accept it as truth. And once you accept it, your subconscious mind ensures that your external world matches your inner conviction. This is why it is so important to guard your words, to speak only that which you wish to bring forth. If you desire abundance, you must speak as if abundance is already yours. If you desire love, you must speak as though love is already surrounding you. If you desire success, you must declare it as if it has already arrived. This is not about wishful thinking or empty affirmations. It is about assuming the state of the person who already has what they desire and speaking from that place of certainty. Consider for a moment how a person who already has everything they want speaks. They do not talk about struggle. They talk about opportunities. They do not dwell on what is missing. They focus on what is unfolding. Their words reflect a deep inner knowing that all is well, that everything they desire is already within reach. They do not ask, when will it happen? They say, it is happening now. The way you speak is not just about external communication, it is about the conversation you have with yourself. What do you say when you are alone? Do you encourage yourself, affirming your worth and potential, or do you allow doubts to dominate your inner dialogue? The voice in your mind is the most influential voice you will ever hear. It is shaping your beliefs, molding your expectations, and creating the foundation of your reality. If you catch yourself speaking words that do not align with the life you want, stop immediately. Replace them with words that affirm your desired state. Instead of saying, I can't afford this, say, money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways. Instead of saying, I am not good enough, say, I am worthy of all that I desire. Instead of saying, nothing ever works out for me, say, everything is always working in my favor. At first it may feel unnatural. Your mind may resist, trying to pull you back into old patterns of speech. But if you persist, if you choose your words with intention, something incredible happens. Your subconscious begins to accept your new declarations as truth. Your beliefs shift, and as your beliefs shift, so does your reality. Do not underestimate the power of repetition. The more you affirm something, the more real it becomes. This is why people who constantly complain find more to complain about, while those who express gratitude attract more reasons to be grateful. Your words are always setting the course for your future, whether you are conscious of it or not. The greatest shift occurs when you stop merely speaking positive words and start feeling them. It is not enough to say, I am abundant, while secretly feeling lack. You must embody the truth of your words. Speak as if what you are saying is already real. Let the words flow with conviction, with certainty. When you declare something with belief, it has no choice but to manifest. Every day, choose your words wisely. Speak only that which you wish to experience. Eliminate words of doubt, fear, and limitation. Speak life, speak abundance, speak love. Watch as the energy of your words begins to reshape your world. The universe is always listening, always responding. Make sure you are sending out a message that aligns with the life you truly desire. Every action you take is a statement to the universe about who you believe yourself to be. Your movements, your decisions, and the way you carry yourself all reflect your inner world. You may think of action as something separate from belief, but in truth, the way you act is an extension of your state of mind. If you believe you already have everything you desire, your actions will align with that belief and the world will respond accordingly. There is a distinct difference between someone who is waiting for their desires to manifest and someone who knows they are already in possession of them. The one who waits hesitates, second guesses, and often behaves as though they lack what they want. They move through life tentatively, hoping for change, but not embodying it. They may say the right words, but their actions betray their doubt. The person who truly knows they have everything walks differently, speaks differently, makes decisions with certainty. There is no hesitation, no waiting. They simply are. To act as if you have everything, you must first become deeply aware of how you would behave if your desire were already fulfilled. Would you move with confidence? Would you take better care of yourself? Would you make bolder choices? Would you approach people differently? These are not small details. They are the very essence of stepping into a new reality. Your body must align with your belief, or else you will continue reinforcing a state of waiting rather than a state of having. Observe the way a successful person moves. They do not shuffle their feet or look down nervously. They walk with purpose, with a presence that commands attention. They make decisions swiftly and trust themselves. They do not wonder if they are worthy of their desires. They assume it with every breath. If you wish to embody this, you must carry yourself in the same way. Even if your mind is still catching up, your body can lead the way. Stand taller, breathe deeper, speak with assurance. These small physical shifts send a message to your subconscious that the transformation has already taken place. Your habits must also reflect the reality you wish to live. If you desire abundance, are you treating yourself as someone who has it? Do you save money wisely while also allowing yourself to enjoy life without fear? If you desire love, are you behaving as someone who is deeply loved, or are you waiting for another person to validate you? If you desire success, Are you dedicating yourself fully to your craft, or are you procrastinating out of fear? Many people wait for external changes before they adjust their actions. They think, once I have more money, I will start dressing well, or once I am in a relationship, I will treat myself with love. But the order is reversed. You must act first, and then the outer world conforms. If you wish to be treated with respect, act as someone who commands respect. If you wish to be wealthy, take care of what you already have as though it is vast. If you wish to be in a fulfilling relationship, behave as someone who is already fulfilled, rather than seeking validation. Every moment presents an opportunity to reinforce your new state. The way you wake up in the morning, the way you enter a room, the way you respond to challenges, all of it should reflect the truth that you have already stepped into your desired reality. If doubts arise, do not entertain them. Redirect your focus. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, I already have it. Then act accordingly. The world does not respond to what you want, it responds to who you are being. You do not attract what you desire, you attract what you embody. The more consistently you act from a place of having rather than needing, the faster reality reshapes itself to match your inner conviction. When you carry yourself as someone who already possesses everything they desire, opportunities flow effortlessly. People treat you differently, doors open, and life unfolds in ways that confirm your belief. Your actions are not just responses to the world, they are commands to it. When you move with certainty, when you live as though you already have all that you seek, the universe has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your state of being. You are already living in the world of your imagination. Everything you see, touch, and experience is a reflection of what you assume to be true. If you believe you are lacking, the world will mirror that belief. But if you act as if you are blessed with everything, if you walk through life with the quiet assurance that all is already yours, the world has no choice but to conform to that assumption. There is no separation between you and the reality you desire. What you accept as true in the silence of your mind becomes the life you live. If you believe yourself to be abundant, if you feel within that you are already favored, already prosperous, already loved, then the outer world must take the shape of that conviction. The secret is not to wait for proof, but to live from the state of already having. To act as if you are blessed is not mere pretense. It is an inner knowing, a shift in consciousness that moves mountains. When you wake up in the morning, feel the joy of one who already possesses everything. Walk with the confidence of one whose path is lined with favor. Speak with the assurance of one whose words hold power. You do not need to force or beg. You simply assume, and the assumption hardens into fact. You are always creating, whether you do so consciously or unconsciously. Every moment is an opportunity to embody the version of yourself who has it all. If you desire health, embody the energy of one who is already well. If you seek love, dwell in the feeling of being deeply cherished. If prosperity is your aim, carry yourself as one who knows wealth is inevitable. The world is not outside of you, it is within you, reflecting back your state of being. Dare to believe that you already have all that your heart longs for. Dare to act as if the unseen is more real than what your senses perceive. And as you persist in this assumption, life will reorganize itself to prove you right. Everything you experience in the outer world is a direct reflection of what you hold as true within yourself. Life does not happen to you randomly. It unfolds according to the assumptions you carry in your mind. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are constantly shaping your reality by the beliefs you accept and the emotions you cultivate. There is no force outside of you determining your circumstances. Everything you see, touch, and experience originates from the thoughts and assumptions you entertain. If you assume lack, the world will faithfully mirror that lack back to you. If you assume abundance, abundance will inevitably find its way into your life. The conditions of your life are not independent forces acting upon you, but expressions of your inner state. Every person, every event, every situation is drawn into your experience as a reflection of your consciousness. You are not a passive observer in this world. You are its creator. The thoughts you dwell upon, the feelings you nurture, and the assumptions you hold dear mold the circumstances of your existence. The law operates with absolute precision. It does not favor one person over another. It simply responds to the dominant state of mind you inhabit. If you believe you are unworthy, the world will give you experiences that confirm that belief. If you believe you are destined for greatness, life will unfold in ways that align with that expectation. There is no randomness in what you encounter. Many people go through life unaware of this principle, believing themselves to be at the mercy of external forces. They attribute their struggles to luck, fate, or the actions of others, never realizing that they are the ones setting the conditions for their experiences. The moment you take responsibility for your assumptions, you reclaim your power. You no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstances, but as the architect of your reality. Look at the patterns in your life and you will see the evidence of your own thinking. The situations you repeatedly find yourself in are not coincidences. They are the direct results of the assumptions you return to again and again. If you always expect difficulty, you will continue to encounter obstacles. If you habitually assume that people will mistreat you, you will find yourself in situations where that assumption is validated. This is not punishment, it is simply the law expressing itself in perfect harmony with your inner world. When you begin to shift your assumptions, everything around you must shift as well. If you change your internal dialogue from one of doubt to one of certainty, your outer world will soon reflect that change. The transformation does not happen through force or struggle. It happens naturally as your consciousness changes. The key is to discipline your mind to hold only the assumptions that serve you. You do not need to wait for proof before you shift your belief. Many people make the mistake of thinking they must first see changes in their circumstances before they can believe something different. But the law does not work that way. The world only changes after you have changed within. If you wish to experience love, you must first assume that you are already loved. If you desire success, you must first carry yourself as someone who is already successful. The assumption must come first, and the evidence will follow. Doubt is the only thing that stands in the way of your ability to create the life you desire. When you entertain doubt, you send mixed signals to the universe. One moment you affirm your desire, and the next you contradict it with fear and uncertainty. This wavering keeps you stuck, as the world can only reflect the inconsistency of your inner state. The moment you become unwavering in your assumption, the world will align with your belief. People often look at their current circumstances and believe them to be permanent, forgetting that they are only a reflection of past assumptions. Just as a mirror reflects your image, your world reflects the state of your mind. If you do not like what you see, you do not fix the mirror, you change yourself. The moment you alter your inner world, the outer world must follow suit. You do not have to fight against circumstances to change them. Fighting against what you see only reinforces it. Instead, shift your consciousness. Dwell in the feeling of already having what you desire. Act as if you are already blessed, already successful, already loved. Live in the certainty that everything is unfolding in your favor and reality will shape itself accordingly. This is not wishful thinking, it is the fundamental law of creation. What you assume to be true with feeling and conviction must externalize in your world. Your imagination is the tool through which reality is formed. Every great change begins within before it is seen without. The world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting your deepest convictions. When you accept this truth, you step into your power. You no longer beg for things to change. You assume the state of already having, and the world rearranges itself to accommodate your assumption. Everything you experience, whether wanted or unwanted, is an invitation to examine your assumptions. Instead of reacting to circumstances, take a step back and ask yourself, what must I be assuming for this to be showing up in my life? This simple question reveals the hidden belief shaping your reality. Once you identify them, you have the power to replace them with new, empowering assumptions. Begin now to cultivate the feeling of already being blessed with everything. Let your imagination be filled with the joy of having all that your heart desires. Feel the security of knowing that all your needs are met. Walk through life with the confidence of one who is favored, knowing that the world will always reflect your inner state. If you persist in this assumption, the world must yield to your belief. Instead of waiting for things to change, you must first change within. The world you see, the life you live, and the circumstances you encounter are all reflections of your internal state. If you wish to experience abundance, love, success, or joy, you must first dwell in the feeling of already having those things. You do not wait for external proof, you assume it as real now, and by doing so you bring it into existence. Most people live their lives reacting to what they see around them. They look at their bank account, their relationships, their health, and they decide what to believe based on those conditions. If things appear to be going well, they feel happy. If things look difficult, they feel discouraged. This is living as a slave to circumstances. But the truth is, circumstances are not fixed. They are a reflection of past assumptions. If you continue to react to what is, you will only create more of the same. To break free, you must learn to live from the end, to assume the reality you desire before it appears. To live from the state of already having means you think, feel, and act as if your desire is already fulfilled. It is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about aligning your consciousness with the reality you wish to experience. When you assume a state with conviction, the world must rearrange itself to reflect that assumption. The law is infallible. If you desire financial freedom, do not wait for your bank account to change before you feel abundant. Feel wealthy now. Walk with the assurance of one who is financially secure. Speak as someone who has more than enough. Let the feeling of prosperity saturate your being. The world does not bring abundance to those who beg for it. It reflects it to those who assume it. If you desire love, do not look to others for validation. Instead, assume that you are already deeply loved and cherished. Feel the warmth of companionship, the security of being wanted. Walk through life as someone who is already fulfilled in love, and watch how the world mirrors that state back to you. Relationships will shift, new people will enter your life, and circumstances will unfold to align with your assumption. The key to this transformation lies in persistence. You cannot simply assume your desire once and expect instant change. The world takes time to rearrange itself according to your new state of being. But if you remain faithful to the feeling of already having, reality must conform. Most people give up too soon because they look for immediate evidence. They assume abundance for a moment, but when they see no change, they revert to their old beliefs of lack. This inconsistency keeps them stuck. The ones who succeed are those who persist in their assumption, unwavering in their faith. Every great change begins in the mind. If you wish to transform your life, begin by transforming your inner dialogue. Speak to yourself as one who already possesses what you seek. If you desire health, do not dwell on symptoms or limitations. Instead, affirm your vitality, see yourself as whole, and feel the energy of perfect well-being. If you remain faithful to this assumption, your body must respond. The reason most people struggle to manifest their desires is because they allow the external world to dictate their beliefs. They say, "I will believe I am wealthy when I see more money," or "I will feel loved when someone shows me love." But this is backward thinking. The world does not give you proof first. You must assume first, and the proof will follow. When you embody the state of already having, you eliminate resistance. Many people approach their desires from a place of lack, constantly affirming what they do not have. They say, "I want more money," but what they are really affirming is that they do not have enough. They say, "I want love," but deep inside they feel lonely and unworthy. The law does not respond to words. It responds to the state of being. If you feel lack, you will continue to experience lack. If you feel abundance, abundance must come. The power lies in your ability to shift your awareness. Instead of focusing on what is missing, direct your attention to the feeling of already having. Use your imagination to dwell in the reality of your wish fulfilled. Picture yourself living the life you desire. Feel the emotions you would feel if it were already true. The more you immerse yourself in this state, the more real it becomes. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever you impress upon it. If you repeatedly assume that you are blessed, successful, and loved, your subconscious will take that as fact, and your external world will adjust accordingly. This is why visualization, affirmations, and mental rehearsal are so powerful. They condition the mind to accept a new reality, which then manifests in the physical world. To live from the state of already having does not mean you force things to happen. You do not need to struggle or chase after your desires. Instead, you move through life with a quiet confidence, knowing that what you have assumed must come to pass. You do not panic when things appear unchanged, because you understand that reality is always shifting to match your inner world. Doubt is the only thing that can delay your manifestation. When you question whether your assumption will materialize, you create resistance. Instead of entertaining doubts, remain firm in your conviction. Remind yourself that the world is simply reflecting your consciousness. If you persist in the state of already having, there is no power that can prevent its expression in your life. The world will test your faith. There may be moments when it seems like nothing is changing, but this is where your persistence is required. The outer world is always a step behind the inner world. What you experience today is the result of past assumptions. If you continue to dwell in the feeling of already having, the outer world will catch up. Your life is not determined by chance or luck. It is shaped by the assumptions you hold. Choose to live from the state of already being blessed. Assume that everything you desire is already yours. Walk with the confidence of one who has received. Speak with the certainty of one who knows. Let your heart be filled with gratitude, not for what you hope will come, but for what you already possess within. If you persist in this state, you will soon realize that reality has no choice but to conform. The world is your mirror, and it will always reflect what you assume to be true. There is a vast difference between waiting for a blessing and knowing that you are already blessed. The mind that waits remains in a state of lack, constantly looking for external confirmation. The mind that knows, however, operates from a place of certainty, attracting experiences that align with its belief. This is the key to transforming your reality. The world does not give you what you want. It gives you what you assume to be true. When you believe that you are already blessed, everything shifts. Your energy changes, your actions reflect confidence, and the world responds accordingly. You no longer beg for opportunities, you expect them. You do not chase after love, you radiate it. You do not question whether abundance is coming, you live in the reality that it is already here. This is the secret that separates those who thrive from those who struggle. Most people live by sight. They look around at their circumstances and decide what to believe based on what they see. If the evidence of blessing is not present, they assume they are not blessed. If there is no visible abundance, they believe in lack. But this way of thinking keeps them stuck in an endless cycle. They are waiting for proof before they believe, not realizing that belief itself is what creates proof. To shift into the knowing that you are already blessed, you must practice embodying the state of fulfillment. This means feeling the emotions of success, love, joy, and abundance before you see the physical manifestation. You do not wait for the world to show you. It is your assumption that brings it forth. The person who walks in the knowing of their blessing does not question, doubt, or worry. They move through life with the quiet assurance that everything they desire is already theirs. Your subconscious mind accepts what you consistently impress upon it. If you continually affirm that you are blessed, prosperous, and abundant, your subconscious mind takes this as truth. It does not question whether it is real. It simply works to bring that belief into reality. This is why it is crucial to guard your thoughts. Every time you affirm lack, struggle, or unworthiness, You are programming your subconscious to bring more of those experiences into your life. But when you persist in the belief that you are already blessed, the universe has no choice but to reflect that truth back to you. The power of assumption is absolute. If you assume that life is difficult, you will experience obstacles at every turn. If you assume that things always work out for you, doors will open in ways you never expected. The difference is not in external circumstances. It is in the state you hold within. This is why two people in the same situation can have completely different experiences. One may see struggle and limitation, while the other sees opportunity and abundance. The external world is only a reflection of the internal state. To embody the feeling of already being blessed, you must practice living in that state daily. Start with gratitude. Instead of focusing on what is missing, acknowledge what you already have. Gratitude shifts your energy, placing you in alignment with abundance. When you feel grateful, you affirm that you are already blessed, and this feeling draws more blessings into your life. Another powerful way to cultivate this knowing is through visualization. Close your eyes and see yourself already living the life you desire. Imagine the details vividly, the places, the people, the emotions. Let it feel real. Your subconscious mind does not differentiate between imagination and reality. It simply accepts what you impress upon it. When you repeatedly visualize yourself as already blessed, you train your mind to accept it as truth, and soon reality conforms. Your words also shape your reality. Speak as someone who is already blessed. Instead of saying, "I hope things get better," say, "Things are already working in my favor." Instead of saying, "I need more money," say, "I am financially secure and abundant." Your words reinforce your assumptions. When you speak from a place of lack, you create more lack. But when you speak from a place of abundance, you call abundance into existence. Doubt is the only thing that can interfere with this process. If you allow fear, worry, or disbelief to take hold, you weaken the assumption. Many people begin this journey with enthusiasm, but when they do not see immediate results, they revert to their old way of thinking. This is where persistence is key. The physical world takes time to adjust to new assumptions. If you persist in the belief that you are already blessed, no external circumstance can shake you. One of the greatest indicators of knowing is your emotional state. If you truly believe you are already blessed, you will feel peace, joy, and confidence. You will not feel desperation, anxiety, or impatience because you know that your blessings are already yours. When you notice doubt creeping in, remind yourself that the world is simply reflecting what you assume to be true. Shift your focus back to the feeling of already having. People who operate from this state often find that things begin to work out effortlessly. Opportunities appear, relationships improve, and abundance flows in unexpected ways. This is not coincidence. It is the natural consequence of assuming a new reality. When you embody the feeling of being blessed, life bends to accommodate your belief. Many who struggle with this concept believe that they must first take massive action to change their circumstances. But action alone without the right state of mind is ineffective. You can work tirelessly, but if your inner state is one of lack, struggle, or doubt, your efforts will yield little results. However, when you act from the belief that you are already blessed, your actions become powerful. You move with confidence, make better decisions, and attract the right people and opportunities. The process of shifting into this knowing is simple, but it requires discipline. You must train your mind daily to accept the reality of being blessed. Wake up each morning with gratitude. Visualize your desires as already fulfilled, and speak only words that affirm abundance. Guard your thoughts and reject any belief that contradicts your assumption. When doubt arises, remind yourself that your only job is to persist in the feeling of already having. This is not about pretending or forcing yourself to believe something that feels untrue. It is about choosing to align with the reality you wish to experience. You have the power to create any life you desire, but first you must accept that it is already yours. The moment you do, The universe will rearrange itself to match your assumption. When you embrace this knowing, you step into a new way of living. You no longer feel the need to struggle, chase, or beg for what you want. You move through life with certainty, trusting that everything you desire is already unfolding. You radiate an energy of fulfillment, and the world cannot help but reflect it back to you. Everything you seek is already within you. The only thing left to do is assume it, feel it, and watch it become reality. The state you hold within determines the world you experience. If you assume that you are already blessed, loved, and abundant, life has no choice but to mirror that assumption back to you. But to fully embody this truth, you must not merely think it, you must feel it as real. The feeling of already having is the key that unlocks everything. Most people live in a state of wanting. They desire more wealth, more love, more success, but they continue to feel the absence of these things. This is where they get stuck. They are trying to change their reality while still feeling the lack of what they seek. They do not realize that their emotions are the bridge between their inner world and their external experience. The universe does not respond to words alone. It responds to the emotions that accompany them. If you say, "I am blessed," but deep down you feel worry, fear, or doubt, then what you are truly affirming is lack. The feeling is the language the universe understands. This is why faith is not just about belief, it is about feeling the reality of your desire before it appears. When you feel the certainty of already being blessed, everything begins to shift in your favor. Doors open, opportunities arise, and life seems to work effortlessly. This is not luck. It is the natural response to your inner state. To understand how this works, observe the patterns in your life. When you have felt truly confident, haven't things flowed more smoothly? When you have felt truly grateful, haven't more reasons to be grateful appeared? Likewise, when you have felt anxious or fearful, haven't more problems seemed to arise? The external world is constantly reflecting back the state you hold within. This is why feeling is so important. It is the blueprint that shapes your reality. Many people ask, how do I feel something that hasn't happened yet? The answer is simple. Your mind does not know the difference between a real experience and an imagined one. When you close your eyes and vividly imagine yourself living in the reality you desire, your subconscious accepts it as truth. If you sustain this feeling long enough, it will externalize into your world. Take a moment to imagine that you already have everything you desire. Feel the emotions that come with it. If it is wealth, feel the security, the freedom, the peace of knowing that you are financially abundant. If it is love, feel the warmth, the joy, the deep connection. If it is success, feel the pride, the accomplishment, the excitement of living your purpose. Let the feeling take over your entire being. Breathe it in as if it were real right now. This practice is not mere wishful thinking. It is the act of creating reality. The more vividly you feel it, the faster it manifests. Those who achieve great things in life do not wait for circumstances to change before they feel successful. They feel successful first, and then the world conforms to that inner state. The person who knows they are already loved walks differently. The person who knows they are already prosperous moves through life with certainty. This energy is magnetic, drawing to them exactly what they assume to be true. The challenge for most is sustaining this feeling in the face of external circumstances. If the world appears to show lack, fear, or struggle, they fall back into old patterns of doubt. But the truth is, the external world is merely the result of past assumptions. What you see today is a reflection of what you once believed. To change it, you must persist in the new feeling, regardless of appearances. This is where most people give up. They expect immediate results, and when they do not see instant changes, they revert to their old state. But the process of manifestation requires faith. You must remain unwavering in your assumption, holding the feeling as real even when there is no physical evidence. The longer you sustain the feeling, the faster the world reshapes to match it. Imagine a sculptor shaping a masterpiece. They do not look at the raw material and say, "This is not the final form, so I give up." No, They see the vision in their mind and patiently mold it until it takes shape. Your reality is no different. You are the sculptor, and your assumptions are the tools. The world may not yet reflect your inner state, but if you persist, it must eventually take form. This is why the ability to hold the feeling of already having is the greatest skill you can develop. It allows you to move through life with an unshakable confidence, knowing that your desires are already fulfilled in the unseen. There is no desperation, no chasing, no worrying, only the quiet certainty that everything you seek is already yours. When you fully embrace this truth, you become free. You stop looking for validation from the external world. You stop needing people, money, or success to confirm your worth. You already feel whole, and because of this, the world reflects wholeness back to you. Those who wait for proof before they believe will always be waiting. But those who feel it first will always receive. This is the secret behind all great manifestations. Those who achieve their dreams are not waiting for the world to show them proof. They already feel the reality of their desire within, and because they feel it so deeply, it must appear. This is not theory, it is law. The feeling of already having is the force that brings the unseen into the seen. Think of the times in your life when things flowed effortlessly. Perhaps you met someone at the perfect moment, or an opportunity appeared just when you needed it. These moments were not random. They were the result of being in alignment with the state of already having. When you trust in this process, you no longer struggle to make things happen. You simply allow them to unfold, knowing that your inner state is creating your reality. Every great teacher, every great thinker has understood this truth. They knew that the power to create did not come from external effort alone, but from the ability to assume the state of already having. This is why some people, despite working tirelessly, never seem to achieve their desires, while others seem to receive effortlessly. The difference is in the feeling. You must train yourself daily to hold this feeling. Begin each morning by stepping into the state of already being blessed. Before you check your phone, before you engage with the world, take a moment to feel the reality of your desire. Let it wash over you. Carry this feeling with you throughout the day. When doubts arise, return to the feeling. When circumstances contradict your assumption, refuse to be swayed. Persist in the knowing that you are already blessed. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about creating a new one. You are not denying what is in front of you. You are choosing to see beyond it. You are deciding that your inner world is more powerful than external appearances. You are claiming your ability to shape reality with the power of assumption. Those who master this are never in a state of lack, because they know that all they desire is already theirs. They do not beg, hope, or wish. They assume, feel, and receive. And as they hold this state, life responds accordingly. What was once unseen becomes seen. What was once a desire becomes reality. The feeling of already having is the only bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And once you cross that bridge, the world has no choice but to reflect your assumption back to you. The final and most important step in bringing forth the reality you desire is unwavering faith in the unseen. Faith is not mere hope, nor is it wishful thinking. Faith is the certainty that what you have assumed to be true already exists, even when there is no physical evidence. It is the invisible force that turns imagination into reality, for everything first begins in the unseen before it manifests in the seen. The entire world you experience is the result of an internal assumption held long enough until it externalized. When you desire something, your logical mind may immediately question how it will come to be. It may search for proof, for confirmation, for validation from the outside world. But faith does not require evidence. Faith is evidence in itself. It is knowing that even if the five senses tell you otherwise, the truth of your assumption will inevitably materialize. The person who truly believes they are blessed with everything does not look for proof. They do not wonder when or how things will happen. They rest in the knowing that it is already done. To cultivate this kind of faith, one must become completely indifferent to circumstances. The world may show lack, yet you remain unmoved. The world may tell you that you are not successful, not wealthy, not loved, yet you refuse to accept it as final. Instead, you hold on to your assumption as if it were already real, because in a deeper sense it is. The moment you fully accept something as true in your imagination, it begins to take root in reality.